Today marks 1 year since the deadliest school shooting in Texas history. Butterflies were released this morning along with a vigil earlier today to remember the 21 victims killed in the Robb Elementary School shooting.
Church bells ringing this afternoon at 12:49 to mark the time the gunman was killed by law enforcement officers. Tonight, families are still seeking answers about the slow police response. You may recall it took officers 77 minutes before they rushed into the classroom where the children and teachers were gunned down.
10-year-old Tess Mata died in the shooting. Her mother is still outraged by Texas lawmakers who have yet to make any real progress with legislation to prevent another tragedy, she says.
Aniela Ruiz talks with Mata and a Uvalde teacher. She joins us live tonight from Uvalde. Aniela.
Guys, a very tough day, difficult day for these families as they're trying to remember their loved ones, honor them. But a lot of them are really reflecting on that terrible day, the last day they saw them and said goodbye.
I don't feel like it's real yet.
Veronica Mata says she feels everything has felt like a nightmare.
The disbelief is still there. I don't think I've really have come to the realization that this is true. I see her on the TV, I see her on the news.
Her daughter, 10-year-old Tess Mata, was one of the 19 children and 2 teachers gunned down inside Robb Elementary School last year. For more than 70 minutes, officers waited in that hallway before they breached the classroom.
Their issue was they were scared. They were scared to go in and face an AR-15.
That haunts this mother.
We don't know how long they were terrified in that room. I don't know if maybe my daughter would have survived if they would have gone in there quicker.
Anger she's felt this entire year.
It's infuriating because me as a teacher, if I'm fearful of doing my job, if I'm fearful of teaching my students, I lose my job. So why are they any different?
And now she's channeling all of those feelings into advocacy, fighting for change at the state capitol, taking her daughter's story everywhere, hoping that through all of her work, she can bring change and keep the memory of her sweet, spontaneous daughter alive.
I just want everybody to know that she would have changed this world. She would have been a big part of this world, and she was going to do great things.
Her eldest daughter just graduated from Texas State University, and Tess' dream was to jump into the river with her big sister. She actually learned to swim a week before the tragedy last year. And again, sadly, she wasn't able to do it, but her sister did jump in the river last week at the picture of her loved one, of Tessa. And again, all these families telling us that all these celebrations and milestones now they'll have to do without their loved ones. And again, that's why they're fighting to keep their legacy alive. And this family has actually started a scholarship in honor of Tess, and they're hoping to get enough funds to be able to keep this scholarship for many years. For that information, you can head to our website at KHOU.com.
Aniela, you've been keeping in touch with the families like the Matas since the shooting a year ago. They are so very strong, but this is hard. So wondering, how are they remembering their loved ones? How will they handle tonight?
It is very hard. A lot of these parents actually told me they weren't sure if they were going to be able to even get out of their house or get out of their bed. They're really fighting, getting that strength, they said, from their kids, and they're actually going to hold a vigil tonight at 7:30 next to the Civic Center, next to the place where a lot of these families found out that their kids were gone. That's where they're going to have a special vigil tonight, candlelight vigil. They're asking people, if they can't make it to that vigil, to please light a candle in memory of their loved ones. Guys.
Aniela, thank you from Uvalde. Many Uvalde families traveled to Washington in the days after the shooting to push for tighter gun control legislation. Well, today, Senator John Cornyn is in Houston talking about what has changed to help keep students safe. Cornyn helped pass the bipartisan Safer Communities Act last year. He held a roundtable in Pasadena today alongside area school district leaders to talk about how it's been put into action That law authorized billions of dollars for mental health and school safety grants for schools. 10 million of those dollars are being spent right here in the Houston area. They also got an up-close look at security enhancements at Pasadena Memorial High School.
No parent should have to worry about the safety and security of their child in school, and no child should have to come to school being afraid, is something going to happen to me while I'm here? We're trying to learn from each of these tragedies and do better, because our ultimate goal is to try to save lives.
The federal legislation also enhanced background checks for 18 to 21-year-olds. Conan says the FBI has already thwarted 160 gun transactions by looking at a buyer's juvenile records.